Imagine a sleepy town where nothing extraordinary ever happens, until one day a young girl vanishes without a trace. An ordinary town where life is as predictable as the sunrise and sunset, where peace and tranquility are the two most loyal residents. This is the kind of town where everyone knows everyone, where the laughter of children playing in the park is the most exciting sound you'll hear on any given day. Then came that fateful day. The day when the laughter was replaced with the deafening silence of a missing child. The day started as any other, with the sun rising over the small town, casting long shadows on the quiet streets. But as the day wore on, the usual tranquility was shattered by a chilling realization. The young girl, a beloved daughter, a cherished friend, was missing. Her home, once filled with joy and laughter, was now a den of panic and worry. Her mother's soft voice, which once sang lullabies, was now hoarse from screaming her name into the wind. Her father's strong hands, which once held her high in the air, were now trembling, clutching a worn-out photograph of his little girl. The girl's disappearance sent a ripple of fear through the town, turning the once peaceful community into a hive of frantic activity. The townsfolk, once leading their ordinary lives, were now united by a common dread. The park, which was once filled with the innocent laughter of children, was now eerily silent, save for the rustling of leaves and the whispers of the wind. The search parties combed through every inch of the town, their faces etched with concern and desperation. The local school, once buzzing with youthful energy, was now filled with hushed whispers and tear-streaked faces. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows over the deserted streets, a chilling realization set in. The girl was nowhere to be found. The once vibrant town was now shrouded in darkness, both literally and metaphorically. The laughter and joy were replaced with fear and uncertainty. The bustling streets were now deserted, the silence broken only by the occasional whisper of the wind. In the end, the night swallowed the sun, and the girl was nowhere to be found. The dawn of the next day marked the beginning of a desperate search. This was not just any search. It was a frantic hunt for a missing child, a beloved daughter, a friend. The town came alive with a singular purpose. Time, it seemed, had stopped as the entire community joined hands, their hearts pounding with a shared sense of urgency and fear. Search parties were quickly formed, volunteers ready to brave the dense forest that bordered the town. Men and women, young and old, armed with flashlights and determination, combed through the labyrinthine woods, their voices echoing with the girl's name. It was as though the forest had swallowed her whole, leaving no trace of her behind. In the heart of the town, a church bell tolled, its solemn sound a call to prayer. The townsfolk, their faces etched with worry, gathered to offer their pleas to the heavens, their whispers a collective cry for the safe return of the young girl. Yet, as the hours turned into days, a chilling fear began to creep in, like a shadow slowly stretching across the town. The forest, once a place of beauty and wonder, now seemed to loom ominously over the town, its silence heavy with secrets. Hope, that fragile flame, flickered in the hearts of the townsfolk. The girl was still missing, and the forest remained as impassive as ever. As days turned into nights, hope started to dim, but the forest remained silent. On the fifth day, a chilling discovery was made. The town's search had grown desperate, the collective hope dwindling with each passing moment. It was the girl's parents who stumbled upon the unexpected. The forest, once a playground for their child, had morphed into a labyrinth of dread and despair. But in the heart of this wilderness, they found a cave, a silent sentinel that held a secret within its stony embrace. As they ventured into the mouth of the cave, a faint echo of laughter teased their ears. It was a sound they recognized, a sound they had yearned to hear. Their hearts pounded in their chests, the rhythm of hope and terror playing a symphony of emotions. The cave was dark, the kind of darkness that could swallow you whole, the kind that held 1,000 secrets. Yet, there was a strange tranquility that hung in the air, a tranquility that felt almost surreal. Their eyes adjusted to the darkness, and there, bathed in the faint glow of a distant light, was their little girl. She was sitting, her small frame dwarfed by the imposing cave walls. A smile adorned her face, a smile that should have brought relief, but instead it sent a shudder down their spines. It wasn't the innocent smile they remembered. This was different. It was as if she was privy to a secret, a secret that the universe had whispered only to her. The most unsettling detail, however, was her eyes. Those once vibrant eyes, filled with the curiosity of a child, were now vacant, replaced with an eerie white color. They were like two moonstones glowing in the dim light, devoid of any emotion, any recognition. This was their daughter, yet she seemed like a stranger. A chill ran down their spine as they tried to comprehend the sight before them. An unsettling silence hung in the air, the cave's secret now revealed, yet the mystery had only deepened. There she was, their little girl, smiling in the darkness with eyes as white as the moon. The joy of finding their child was overshadowed by a dreadful realization. As the parents looked into their daughter's eyes, they didn't see the familiar sparkle that once danced within them. Instead, they were met with an eerie, milky white gaze. It was as though the innocence had been drained out of her, replaced by something that was both chilling and unrecognizable. The mother held her daughter close, her heart pounding against her chest. The father, rooted to the spot, tried to make sense of the sight before him. Their relief was quickly replaced by a profound fear, a fear that gnawed at their hearts and threatened to consume them. Their little girl, their baby, was different, and not in a way they could easily understand or accept. The girl's smile, once a source of warmth and joy, was now a cold, unsettling curve that sent shivers down their spines. Her laughter, which once echoed with mirth and innocence, now held an eerie resonance. It was as if their daughter was not just their daughter anymore. She was something else, something otherworldly. They dared not think it, but the word supernatural loomed in their minds. A chill ran down their spines as they considered the possibility. Had their daughter been touched by something from the forest? Had an unseen entity claimed their child as its own? The thought was too horrific to entertain, yet it was impossible to dismiss. The parents were stuck in a whirlwind of emotions: confusion, terror, despair. They yearned for answers, for some semblance of understanding in this abyss of uncertainty. But the only thing that was certain was that their daughter had changed. She had walked into the forest as one person and returned as another. Their daughter was home, but it seemed as if she'd brought a piece of the forest with her. The forest, with its dark secrets and unearthly entities, had left an indelible mark on their child, and they feared what lay ahead. The joy of finding their daughter was tainted by the dread of not knowing who or what she had become. The town breathed a sigh of relief, but the nightmare was far from over. Her return was met with joy, but the jubilation was short-lived. The girl they had known, the girl who had laughed and played under the sun, was not the girl who emerged from the forest. Her eyes, once full of life and color, were now as white as the moon. She wore an eerie smile that never quite reached those haunting eyes. The town looked on in both relief and dread, their hearts heavy with a newfound fear. Days turned into weeks, and the girl's bizarre behavior only intensified. She no longer spoke, but instead hummed an unfamiliar tune, a melody that seemed to echo from the very depths of the forest. Her laughter, once infectious, now sent chills down the spines of those who heard it. It was as though the forest had whispered secrets into her ear, secrets that had changed her, secrets that she now kept locked away. The townsfolk watched in silent horror as the girl they once knew slipped further and further away. Conversations hushed as she passed, mothers clutched their children a little tighter, and the once bustling town now lay under a shroud of unease. The local church, a beacon of hope and solace, became a hub of whispered prayers and terrified confessions. The priest, a man of faith and conviction, found himself at a loss for words, his sermons now tainted with an undercurrent of fear. The town's doctor, a man of science and reason, could offer no explanation, no cure for the girl's condition. And then there were her parents. Their joy at finding their daughter alive was tainted by the stark reality of her transformation. The girl they had found was a stranger to them, a specter of their once vibrant child. Their home, once filled with laughter and love, now echoed with an eerie silence. They watched their daughter, their hearts filled with a love that was now tinged with fear. In the midst of this, the forest stood silent, its secrets safe within its depths. The trees, once a source of joy and adventure, now cast long, ominous shadows. The wind carried whispers of an ancient tale, a tale of a girl lost and found, a tale of a forest that claimed more than it gave. In the end, the girl was found, but not as they knew her. The forest had claimed something of her, something it refused to give back. Y'all, we're wrapping up here, but don't you go anywhere just yet. Show some love, hit that like button. Fancy more content like this? Go on, subscribe and let that bell icon ring so you won't miss a beat. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, sharing is caring. Until next time, stay tuned.